ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक. Start it, please. I am Dr. Buzz. Now today's topic is Wilson disease. It is a rare disease, but it involves many systems. It involves liver disease, nervous system, joints, kidneys, multiple organs are involved. It is a rare disease, but it is a very important disease. And if it is diagnosed, then it is preventable. It is treatable. Now, how it is caused? It is caused by mutation in ATP7B gene on chromosome 13. It is hereditary disorder. It is due to mutation in ATP7B gene which lies on chromosome 13. Sorry. Now, pathogenesis. So, Wilson disease is a disorder of copper metabolism. So, you must know how it is absorbed and how it is excreted. Now, first of all, when we take the diet, copper in the diet is absorbed through the GIT. After absorption, it reaches the liver. In liver, it is bound with ceruloplasmin. After binding with ceruloplasmin, it is secreted in the blood. So, serum copper is mainly bound 90 to 95% with ceruloplasmin. And then when this combination becomes old, then it is degraded, and then finally free copper is excreted through the bile duct. So body gets rid of excessive copper through excretion and bile. So in this disease, what happens? That binding of copper with ceruloplasmin is defective. Number two, excretion of this free copper through bile is defective. As a result, there is increased copper in the liver because there is no excretion. That is why excessive copper is deposited in the liver. And when liver becomes fully saturated, then excessive copper is also deposited in various other organs of the body. For example, most important organ is CNS and central nervous system. Basal ganglia are predominantly involved. It is also involved in the eyes as circulation rings, and it is also involved in other organs, for example, kidney and joints. These are various organs in which this free copper is deposited. As a result, sign and symptom will depend on the involvement of these organs. Now what are the clinical features? First of all, hepatic. The patient may present with acute hepatitis, or patient may go in the fulminant hepatitis, acute fulminant hepatitis. Patient may go in hepatic coma, or patient may present with chronic hepatitis. Patient may develop this fatty liver, or patient may develop cirrhosis. These are various presentation, hepatic manifestation of this Wilson disease. And during acute fulminant hepatitis, when necrosis of liver cells occurs, then there is release of free copper, and these free copper will cause hemolysis. So hemolytic anemia can occur along with liver disease. So any young patient who is having liver disease along with hemolytic anemia, one should suspect Wilson disease, and investigation should be done to rule out the Wilson disease. Second most important organ involved is central nervous system. So what are the neurological manifestations? Though mainly it will present with movement disorders. Most important movement disorders are dystonia, incoordination, tremor. These are three main movement disorders. Now what is dystonia? Dystonia is the increased tone with abnormal posture. Incoordination, when person cannot perform any activities adequately. So incoordination is usually due to cerebellar disease, because first of all you must know which CNS organs are involved. Most important organ involved is basal ganglia, then cerebellum may be involved, and the cerebral cortex may be involved. So incoordination is due to involvement of cerebellum. Then tremor, due to involvement of cerebral cortex. The tremor, you know, to and fro movements. Dysarthria, difficulty in articulation, difficulty in speaking. Dysphagia, difficulty in swallowing. Then Parkinson's disease, when basal ganglia are involved. So patient may present with Parkinson's disease. Typical features are hypokinesia, tremor, and rigidity. Then patient may present with autonomic dysfunction. Autonomic dysfunction, there may be autonomic dysfunction. So patient will present with postural hypotension, or there may be sweating, disorder of sweating, excessive sweating or loss of sweating, or there may be bladder dysfunction, urinary bladder dysfunction, there may be frequency of urine or incontinence, or bowel dysfunction, there may be constipation or diarrhea, or there may be sexual dysfunction. These are autonomic presentation. Patient may present with headache, patient may present with epilepsy, patient may present with dementia. And in eye changes, there may be cataract, premature cataract, or there may be case circulation ring. These are brownish, green brownish ring around the limbus in the cornea. So these are multiple various manifestation of neurological disease. Psychiatric manifestation, patient may present with psychiatric manifestation, for example, abnormal behavior, or there may present with depression, or may present with hyperactivity. In abnormal behavior, there may be bouts of crying, unnecessary crying, and these psychiatric manifestation may present 5 years before the onset of disease. So it may present before the onset of the disease. So importance is that any young patient, if he present with psychiatric manifestation or neurological feature, it is mandatory on the neurophysician or psychiatrist to rule out the Wilson disease, because these psychiatric or neurological features may be the manifestation of Wilson disease. Other features of Wilson disease may be cholelithiasis, stone in the gallbladder due to hemolysis. There may be cholelithiasis, or there may be nephrolithiasis, stone in the kidney. Other renal manifestations are hematuria, or there may be proteinuria, there may be phosphaturia, there may be amino acid uria, there may be glucose uria. These are various renal manifestations. And in the joint may be involved, there may be osteoarthritis. Now, investigation. Uh, Number one is the serum ceruloplasmin, that is raised. Normal level is 18 to 35 milligram deciliter. So ceruloplasmin level is decreased, usually decreased. Sorry, that is wrong written. Raised not, but serum ceruloplasmin is decreased because there is no any binding of copper with ceruloplasmin, so this level is decreased. Urinary, second is the urinary copper will be raised because of excessive copper will be excreted through the kidney. So urinary copper will be raised. Third is the liver copper. If you do the liver biopsy, then amount of copper will be more than 200 microgram per gram dry weight. That is wrong. The copper should be more than 200 microgram per gram dry weight. That is the gold standard. That is the diagnostic test. Fourth is the your DNA analysis. DNA analysis. DNA analysis. In, for example, that by this DNA analysis, we detect the mutation. And for example, if any person is having this Wilson disease, then his brothers or and sisters may develop this Wilson disease. Chances is in 1 in 4. 1 in 4. So it can be detected by this DNA analysis before the onset. Before the onset of disease means in asymptomatic stage, it can be detected by this mutation. And if importance is that if there is mutation and person is the patient is suffering from the Wilson, but still symptoms are not present, then even their treatment should be started because this patient will be symptomatic. This patient will develop full-fledged disease. So it is better to start treatment in pre-symptomatic stage. And this can we know by this DNA analysis. And fifth investigation, it is not present in the, not written in the, this slide is the slit lamp or examination of eyes. You will find this Kayser-Fleischer ring. That is the brownish green ring around the limbus in the cornea. That is usually seen on slit lamp examination. Ophthalmologist can detect. We have to refer this patient to eye department. This physician or medical physician cannot detect because that needs slit lamp examination. Now treatment. Treatment for hepatitis or cirrhosis, for example, patient is at the stage of hepatitis or cirrhosis, then treatment is zinc or trientine. Penicillamine is also used, but there are many side effects, so preferred drugs are zinc or trientine. Dose of zinc is 50 milligram 8 hourly and dose of trientine is 500 milligram BD. If second category is decompensated cirrhosis. If patient is in advanced stage, he had developed decompensated liver disease, then treatment is trientine with zinc or penicillamine with zinc. Combination is given trientine with zinc or penicillamine with zinc. Dose of penicillamine is again 500 milligram BD. The side effects of penicillamines are this penicillamine is chelating agent that remove the calcium from the body. And its side effects are this: it can cause proteinuria, it can cause this bone marrow suppression, and it can cause ACLE. So these are serious side effects. While zinc mechanism the mechanism of zinc is that it prevents the absorption of copper from the GIT. It is the safest drug, not so much serious side effects. It's safest drug as compared to penicillamine. Trientine is also safe. And if patient is having decompensated cirrhosis, then liver transplantation is also an option. Liver transplantation. If patient is having purely neurological or psychiatric manifestation, then third category is this patient with neurological features. In this, the treatment drug of choice is tetrathiomolybdate. Tetrathiomolybdate. That is not available in every country. So again, alternative drugs are zinc or trientine. We have to use any one drug, zinc or trientine. Now, if female patient with pregnancy, then what will be the choice? Then again, drug of choice is zinc 50 milligram TDS or trientine 500 milligram DD. Now, how you will monitor the treatment? How you will monitor it? Because treatment will have to be continued for the life. Now for life, you have to give the treatment. You have to counsel the patient. He should not stop the treatment. Now how monitoring of the disease, whether you are giving adequate dose, underdose or overdose, how you will know. Then serum free copper is used. Normal level is 10 to 15 microgram per deciliter, normal level. And in Wilson disease, it is usually increased more than 50 microgram per deciliter. So after starting of this treatment, you have to keep the serum free copper less than 25 microgram per deciliter. That means this disease is controlled, and you have to keep this serum free copper below 25 microgram per deciliter. This is important disease. Many MCQ will come in the exam, and because it has multi-systemic involvement. So it is the this case of choice for preparing this MCQ as well as long quiz. Now Wilson disease, we completed Wilson disease. Now second topic is primary biliary cirrhosis. Primary biliary cirrhosis. In this disease, there is granulomatous inflammation of portal tracts leading to the loss of bile ducts, fibrosis, and cirrhosis. There is autoimmune destruction, inflammation of bile ducts, intrahepatic, not extrahepatic. Intrahepatic bile ducts are damaged, fibrosis occurs, and finally there will be cirrhosis. So usually age of onset is middle age, and women are mainly affected, not male. So middle-aged women. Now clinical features. What are the clinical features? Symptoms. How patient will present? Usually fatigue or pruritus. Pruritus means itching. So these are main symptoms. What will be the signs? Scratch mark. Number one, due to pruritus or itching, there will be scratch mark on the body. Patient may present with jaundice, and there may be hypercholesterolemia, due to which there will be deposit of cholesterol around the eyeball. That is called the xanthelasma. Lipid deposition around the eyeballs is called the xanthelasma, and there may be xanthomata. These are lipid collection around the joints. There may be hepatosplenomegaly. There may be hyperpigmentation. These are various manifestations. Now investigation. So in a normal routine LFT, if number one investigation is alkaline phosphatase raised. So any patient is having alkaline phosphatase raised, so you have to consider this biliary cirrhosis apart from other causes. There are many other causes, because in this alkaline phosphatase raised indicates the cholestasis, blockage in this bile flow. Second is the GGT, gamma glutamyl transferase, is also raised. That is usually raised along with alkaline phosphatase. That also indicates this cholestasis. Bilirubin is also raised. And most important diagnostic test is anti-mitochondrial antibodies. This is diagnostic test. If these are present along with other features, then diagnosis is made. Liver biopsy. Liver biopsy is not routinely done. It is done when diagnosis is not clear by other investigation. For example, most important differential diagnosis is extrahepatic obstruction. For example, bile duct stone. For these, we have to use ultrasound. Ultrasound can detect biliary channel and any obstruction. And CT, this endoscopic retrograde colon ERCP, endoscopic retrograde cholangopancreatography, or MRCP, magnetic resonance cholangopancreatography. These can detect this biliary channel. So you have to rule out biliary channel obstruction by this ultrasound, MRCP, ERCP. So there should be no any obstruction of biliary channels outside the liver. These are detected by these three methods, tools. And finally, if still disease cannot be diagnosed, then we do the liver biopsy. In liver biopsy, already we have discussed there will be destruction of bile ducts, intrahepatic destruction of bile ducts, fibrosis, then cirrhosis. So management, how you treat this patient. Most important drug is ursodeoxycholic acid. Dose is 13 to 15 milligram per kilogram per day. That is the most important drug. And liver transplantation is also done. If patient is not responding to this medical therapy, then next option is liver transplantation. And if patient is having main complaints, patient is having main complaints of pruritus, then this can be relieved by this cholestyramine. Dose is 4 to 16 gram per day. Rifampicin is also used in dose of 150 milligram BD. It also relieves the pruritus. Third is the naltrexone, 25 milligram per day. That is the opioid antagonist. So these three drugs are used for this intractable pruritus. Antihistamines can be used. Another associated or disease or another complication of biliary cirrhosis is the bone disease. Patient can develop this osteopenia or osteoporosis. For these complications, we usually add vitamin D or calcium along with biphosphonate. That is all for today. Thank you.